All right. I just want to tell you guys thank you for coming in tonight. I know your time is very valuable. If you do not know me, my name is Sarah Osburn Chamberlain, and I am a senior Ruby ambassador. My husband's over here. His name's Drew Chamberlain, and he's a Ruby ambassador. And we are just so excited that I was telling him just a little bit ago, our team divides up these calls, and I was responsible, and I kept everything running into a dead end. And I was like, Lord, I've got to have some help. And it hit me, and I was like, okay, it just came to me. And I'm like, thank you. Okay, now I got to put this into play. And so I want to introduce you to my power partner, Melanie Bryron. And I was like, she's really good at this. And so I was like, hey, you're my Plexus power partner, and I need some help. So she is willing to do this call for us tonight. And she is from California, and I'm going to tell you just a little bit about her. She's really, really close to Ruby. So let's cheer her on and just all pray and believe that she will be there. So she lives in Southern California, and she's an elementary school teacher. She is blissfully married, and she has 2 girls, 8 and 10. She started Plexus just for weight loss. Can you believe that? How many of us were that way? And she's lost over 35 pounds. She had severe food allergies, and they are gone. Her chronic sinus issues, and she's building a huge team there in California. And if you haven't seen her video from last night, she went through Walmart, and I was like, you know what? We are from a really small town because we don't even have self-checkouts at Walmart. That tells you how little our place is. So I'm like, I don't have the advantage that she has to self-check out all these items, but you've got to watch it because it's great. So I just want to turn it over to her, and we're going to talk about Plexus booths. I know here in Oklahoma, it's been a great thing, but she's having great success with that, and we're going to turn it over to her and let her tell us about that.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being on the call. And yeah, it's fun to be a part of this. The last night video was total spur of the moment. So when something comes on your heart to do it, you just have to go for it. Even if you have to buy it all and return it, it's worth it. You know, I was planning on buying it and turning around and returning it just to see like $107 worth of stuff. It was pretty amazing. So the Plexus gifts continue to give and give. I've done a lot of events out here, and I want to just give you some tips on setting up an event and really speak from my heart on things that have worked and things that I will implement next time I do an event, because sometimes an event goes off and one of my big leaders and I will do an event and we'll love every second of it, and then we'll have all these contacts and we'll go home, and lo and behold, we won't have a single customer or a single ambassador out of that event. And that happens. So there's a lot you get out of doing a vendor booth. And I would say, starting off, the most important thing is exposure. And I've done a lot of vendor booths and done them for my team. I've held them and headed them up and set them all up. And I've had some people come in and do them. And I've realized since then that what I really need to do is get my fresh, brand new team members at a booth table to get them talking about Plexus. And if there's one thing that vendor booth has done for me and my team members more than anything, is to get you talking about Plexus on a spur of the moment when someone's coming, some strange person, and you have no idea what their health needs are, and you have no idea what they're there for. You might be at a bridal show and you're talking to the mother of the bride, and she saw this booth and you're wondering, what does she see? What does she need? And that moment to capture them to say, have you tried Plexus? Have you heard of Plexus? And you're happy and you're excited. So a few must-haves, and I'll show you some pictures here in a minute, but a few must-haves I think for a vendor booth for sure are going to be samples of Plexus Slim, samples for them to taste it. And I do have a beverage server. You'll see it's really big. It takes a lot of pink drink to even fill it half full. So I would recommend go on the smaller side, a little pitcher, something cute and quaint at the Dollar Tree. You all have them out there, right? Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree, they have like a wedding section, and they have these little tiny clear shot glasses, and you get 24 for $1. And they're very classy. They're very inexpensive. They work. They're very durable. They're not cracked. And they work really well for giving little samples of pink drink so they can taste it without going through, like in a Dixie cup, you're really giving them a lot of pink drink in one sample. So you're going to go through a lot more product. So something to consider. I always have some water bottles on hand too, and some little pink sticks so that you can say, oh, here's how you mix it up. It's just one of these, because people see the pre-mixed and they're not quite sure how that works. So even if you have to get a health permit, it's worth it to have pink drink on hand. You want them tasting it. I think that's a huge factor. Another huge factor is this little half sheet, and I will I will email this to you, Sarah, or get it somewhere where you can post it, because I have it in a Word file. So my computer crashed, but I have it on some file somewhere. But this here is a little half sheet that we have everybody fill out. And this half sheet just has name, address, phone number, how do we get in touch with you, and a list of chronic issues right there that they can check off. And this is their ticket to a raffle. Another thing that's a must-have is a raffle. You don't have to raffle off an entire bag of pink drink. Actually, I would recommend not doing that, because drawing them in to a raffle, you're going to get people to the table that didn't even really want to hear about this slim stuff, but they want to win that thing in the raffle, which oftentimes is, you know, a 3-day sample and a bottle of ProBio and some cool, awesome thing they really want to have. And so they'll come in for that and say, no purchase necessary, fill this out, I won't bug you. But what happens is, so many times you'll have that person that came to your table, wants nothing to do with Plexus, doesn't want to talk about it. When they see this and they mark gut problems, weight loss, and migraines, and you have their phone number or their email, now you have a need, and you could reach out to them. And later down the road, a day later, a month later, 3 months later, you know, I have your name, you checked off migraines, I had this testimony I wanted to share. So I think these are huge, and it gives them a place to write down information, and a little place, if they're interested in more product, they can mark it down. A little maintenance tip for when you have multiple people at a booth. We have a couple of those little half clipboards hold these really nicely, the little little tiny ones. And what I have my team members do is, you know, if Susie is talking to somebody and she gives them the clipboard and they fill it out, Susie will take this and fold it up and say, good luck, I'm going to make sure they filled it out, I'm going to put this in a raffle. And then Susie is just going to put a little S on it so that we know it's Susie's. So when the event's done, we take these and split them up and give them to whoever they talk to, and there's your contact list right there. And that's pretty helpful. And I found myself taking notes on them if they were interested in the business. And talking about the business is another important part of a vendor booth. In the first year I did it, I never talked about the business because I was afraid. And you have to bring it up, because you say, you know, while they're filling this out is a great time to say, you know, I just got to throw out that Plexus is a great business opportunity. You know, I came into it by accident, but I'm a school teacher and I've made enough money to take a year off of teaching this year, or, you know, it's great extra money and it's really just been such a blessing to me. And so just something to consider, you know, and if you want information, and you might see them just kind of like perk up if they ask a question. That's just enough information for you to write down business opportunity, and before you fold it up and put it away. So what I'll do before I share some pictures is a lot of these pictures they go from a while back, and I've done a lot of different events, and it's hard when we have our product line to get everything out for people to see without and we have our brochures and the catalogs and your business cards and the pink drink and before and after pictures, and it's really hard not to clutter up the scene. And I've had to learn the hard way that sometimes it gets too cluttered too quickly. So I recommend just taking a look at it and keeping it very simple. Just keep it simple. You do not have to spend a ton of money. Some of the things I have on some of these displays, I've spent some money. I've got some nice tablecloths. I've got a nice beverage server, but you don't have to spend a lot of money. I've done events. I did the LA Women's Expo at the LA Convention Center. That's a huge event. It cost $800 for one day. That was very expensive. And I have an ambassador from that, one ambassador, and that was it. And part of that goes back to the follow-up. And part of that we'll talk to a little bit about the relationships you make with people in that moment when they're in your booth, because I was just all about, you know, trying to talk to everybody and not making those relationships and asking questions like I should have. So a lot of it goes back to, but what I walked away with that weekend was an ability to walk up to anybody and talk about Plexus. What is Plexus? Your 60-second commercial. What is it? And to say, it's a health and wellness company. Have you heard of it? Have you tried the pink drink? I even don't pre-pour the pink drinks in the little cups. I pour them with the person standing there, because those 3 seconds I'm pouring that little pink drink is for me to say, well, it's sugar-free, it's sweetened with stevia, colored with beetroot, it balances blood sugar, lipids, cholesterol, blood pressure, and helped me lose 35 pounds and get off my antidepressants. Here, you know, they rattle that off in that little second while you're handing them that little pink drink. Strategically plan, you know, you'll get the hang of it, but don't be afraid to do it. So I'm going to do some screen sharing here. And what I did was I went to desktop. I went uploaded a bunch of pictures to Facebook. So on my personal Facebook, you can see all of these pictures. And I'm not done uploading them, and I'll comment on them for some other details. But you can see the picture here, right? Can you see the screen here, Sarah? Okay, good. So what this is a picture of, this is looking pretty busy, but right here down the center, what I did, this was a bridal show, and it had to be high-end set up because this is a high-end bridal show that you really had to make the booth stand out. So we used lots of black to make it elegant, and I didn't have a Plexus Slim sign. So you see the little triangular flag sign behind is something I grabbed at a party store where it's just a flag sign, and they have little stickers of letters. So I put the letter stickers on to make it say Plexus Slim. So again, it doesn't have to be expensive. But we set it up in a T shape because I stand on the left-hand side, Susie stands on the right-hand side. And as you can see, where the guests, the pink drink's right there at the end. And where the guests are walking up, they're not standing behind a table. So I don't want a table between me and the people that we're talking to. You want personal, and you don't want to seem like, here, I'm just displaying this and I'm behind a table and you're in front of the table. Open is better, I think. So we set it up as a T, and I planned it out actually with Legos to do it to scale to see if it was all going to fit, to see if we had room, because there's a lot of different ways to set it up. So we set it up as a T so that we could each have our own side. And in the very center in the back, you can see all the products against the back there. That's just a tall candle holder that I had, or a cupcake stand or something. And it's really pretty, and it holds the products up off the table. And I have 2 of every product on there so that I could reach for one side, Susie could reach for another, empty bottles, so that if we want to talk about something, we can grab it real easy. A side note, if you're doing an outside event, take these bottles and fill them full of those glass beads so that they're heavier and they don't blow over. So down the center of the table, you can see there, we just have, that's actually a pink, that's a pink curtain that I just used as a table runner. And there's a little glass in the middle with raffle tickets, and there's some brochures and whatnot. I'll talk about some of the other things. But in the front there, you have the pink drink. I often will put lemon in there, makes it look nice. Also that lemon, a little lemon in there, curbs some of the sweetness for people who might think that pink drink's a little bit too sweet. But so what I wanted to show you here, you can see here with me and Susie how we're each on either side of this so that people can come up and talk to her, people can come up and talk to me, and no matter what side they're on, they can talk to us. You see the little pink drink, the Plexus Slim banner behind us. Those are actually, that's an over-the-door like towel rack that work pretty well for vendor booths. Oftentimes they'll set up, they'll have a backdrop behind you. So it's pretty handy to take an over-the-door hook, even if it's a single hook, and use it to hang stuff up from if you don't have those fancy vendor booth hooks. Oh, this is to show you that you need to get there early. I went the wrong way with my pictures. You need to get there early and set up so you have time to relax before you do your event. So I'm going to go to the question. Here is a section of the table where I really want to just focus on some of the products. Live flowers is a great idea. Again, don't have to go expensive, but having a little bit of, even if it's just like 2 daisies and a little vase somewhere, some live flowers really bring class and character to it. But if you take a look here, you're going to see a few things. First off, under the flower, you see my, I call it my disease poster, which is a, it's technically, if you look at that poster, it doesn't say Plexus on it anywhere, because that would be non-compliant, because Plexus doesn't treat or cure diseases, so we're not going to say Plexus on this disease poster. The purpose of this poster, and it usually sits next to the ProBio 5, is to get this poster, a lot of people look at this poster, and what this does is we're teaching about gut health here. So when I do events and I point to this, I'm talking about, did you know that all of these can be a side effect of candida yeast and leaky gut and having an imbalanced gut and whatnot. So again, don't put all those diseases there on that list. On a Plexus Slim poster, you'll see on the other side of my booth, there's a poster that looks just like it that says Plexus Slim. So indirectly, I'm sure compliance wouldn't love the fact that they go side by side, and it'd probably be a little iffy. But technically, that by itself, that poster doesn't say Plexus. So That's my disease poster there. And I point to it a lot because I ask questions. I'll ask someone, so how is your health? Do you know anybody who suffers from anything on this list? And then they glance over, well, yeah, I am actually sure I suffer with chronic pain. Asking that question gets them to, says internet connection is unstable. Let me know if you can't hear me for some reason. So taking a look here, I just tried to take some of the products and put them on display. Whatever you have, these boxes right here, those are risers. Risers is a great way of taking your table and bumping it up a notch. All you really need is, see here, a nice wrinkled fabric, a piece of fabric or a curtain panel, something to just drape over boxes. This box under the flowers is the one that my pink drink container comes in. Take my pink drink container out, I use the box, I cover it up, things on top of it. Using it is a great way to add depth and dimension to what you're trying to have on display. It's hard to not have things look cluttery here. I saw this little crown and I loved it. I had to put the ProBio 5 on it. So whatever speaks to you, whatever it is that you have to use, here's a side view. And I think these didn't post in the order that I exactly wanted them to. So I'm going to flip through some of these right here. Right here, what I have, that's my Plexus Slim poster. That's everything off the Plexus, right there, and our Success magazine. What I have right here, a little plate stand or a little picture stand, 7 picture frame, and out of it that I won from Plexus. iPad behind there are a lot of different programs you might show, and so this
You are a little bit getting to where we can't hear you, Melanie.
working on that. But if you have your, maybe I'll slow down so it can pick up my voice. So this is a picture frame. You see, did you get that part? Picture frame and the iPad right there. Let me move this little thing over. There we go. Perfect. That's pretty handy. It's nice to have that, be able to my goodies.
We heard that that's heat, and then it stopped.
A raffle over to example of table. You can side this gift box. Sample. And that's what I gave.
We're having a really tough time hearing you. You were talking about the raffle.
All right, are we back?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, my name says Kelly Norman, that's great. Anyhow, I switched my pictures. You can see that ideally you can set it up however you'd like. Just I would recommend setting it up so that you're open to your audience, so you're not blocked by a table, so you can reach out and talk to someone. Have them fill out information sheets so you can get their information from them. Have pink drink samples on hand for them. Have a raffle. And again, raffle can be so easy. It can be a 3-day sample. As easy as that. They can win a 3-day sample. Oftentimes people ask about selling product on the spot. And I've done it both ways. I spent quite a few $1,000s once to buy enough product to sell at a very huge event that I thought was going to sell a lot of product, and then didn't sell as much product as I thought, and ended up selling that on my own afterwards. Ideally, what I found is when we sell something on the spot and the people walk away, oftentimes that relationship isn't there, and their success isn't as great. And for them to come back and say that it wasn't working, or for them to say, I need more information, or for them to come back and say, not come back for another order or to touch base with us, that's really hard. So we really want preferred customers and ambassadors. So I've decided since then to not sell product on the spot. And if somebody really, really, really wants something, then I tell them, you know what, I always have some stuff at home. I can get you some stuff tomorrow if you really like it, or we can order it and I can have it here in a couple of days. So that's kind of personal preference, but I found that oftentimes it's, you miss that relationship sometimes when you're selling product on the spot. Now you'll hear people that say, nope, buy your product, sell it on the spot. They have great results with that. But a few of my events where I've sold a bunch of triplexes even right on the spot, those customers didn't remain current long-term customers for me. Even though they had my information, they would not answer a phone call. They needed to be more. So hindsight being 2020 and looking into the next event that I might be doing, and I love events that are free or $25, or events where there's a lot of other vendors, and maybe you just bring a dessert. There's so many events where you don't have to pay a lot of money. Hop into every single one of those. Every single one. If it's a couple $100s, I would think twice about it and talk to your team. And I would look at it as giving your team exposure, because the events I've done where I've had team members, even brand new, sitting there talking about the product, they leave that event a few hours later a whole different person, able to talk to strangers about Plexus. And in the beginning, they're standing behind me, listening to me and wondering what to say. And then it gets busy and they have to break out of their comfort zone, and they're sweating and they're uncomfortable and they're fumbling over their words like we all do. And then they just go with it. And then they realize, oh, I'm not afraid. So when you're at a restaurant or in an elevator, somebody asks about Plexus and they see your hat, you don't stumble because you said it 100 times. So I think that that's really huge. And I'm actually looking to do a lot more events where I'm going to be inviting my team. I declined an event I do every year. That show, the pictures you just saw was from a big bridal show, but just because of what the brides are looking for and what people are looking for on that bridal show, there weren't a lot of customers and ambassadors that came from that, and it wasn't worth the $800 that it costed at the booth for the weekend. So it was a great experience though, but that's good for me. I'll pick an event that, that's great for the team. So another thing to consider at an event is the other vendors at your event, because you'll go to an event and everybody's setting up, everybody's in a rush. People know each other, some don't. There's going to be some other companies there that are similar to yours. Kind of, sort of. No one's similar to us, but other weight loss options that probably will be right next to you with your luck, because that's how it usually is with me. And you want to just smile and love them and befriend them and say, what do you have? Well, this is cool. And look at the other vendors. And when I've had the time where I knew how many vendors there were, I've gone by and handed them all a pink drink with a brochure before the event started and say, hey, good luck on your event. I just want to come see what you had, and good luck. It's supposed to be a great day. I hope you have a great time. And here's a little pink drink to get you through the day. You can mix it with your water. Give everybody a pink drink. Or at the end of the event, give them a little ease sample when we have those and say, here's to help get you through the rest of your day after being on your feet all day. But just being a friendly person and not being standoffish is huge. When you're just talking to people and you go up to them and look at what they have before it starts, because once it starts, everybody's pretty busy. But give an interest in what they have and understand that you are surrounded by people who who own their own businesses or who are doing another multi-level marketing company. So they understand how this works. And oftentimes you'll find someone who's selling Pampered Chef or Scentsy or oils or something, and they love their stuff. And then you just happen to talk about the compensation plan, and next thing you know, they're, interested in Plexus, or you let them know what you have. And wow, my mom has diabetes. Wow, we should talk, So understand that you've got a whole audience around you of vendors, and the vendors are watching you all day too. So your excitement and your enthusiasm, just smile as big as you possibly can and be happy and ask a lot of questions. One thing, and that was hard for me. I'm a talker, so I talk, and I've really had to work on stopping, and a lot of Lori Harrison training has helped me with that, to say, Plexus is the da-da-da-da. Do you know anybody with or do you have any health issues you're working on? And then you just stop for a breath, and then there it goes. And they just let you know everything. And you just listen like, wow, like you walk by my table, I didn't know you needed half of these products. And then, calmly let them know, what you have for them, and get their information. And one thing that I've found, in addition to like an information sheet, is on my next event, I'll be looking at having something, I haven't wrapped my brain around it, something in the raffle where they would friend me on Facebook at the moment for a free pink drink and an extra raffle ticket for the raffle. Because getting them on your social media, having them as my friend on Facebook, if I can have Sarah be my friend on Facebook right now at this event, at this table, so that she can get a pink drink and another raffle ticket, even if she wants to unfriend me, it's going to take her a while before she gets home to do it. Before she unfriends me, I'm sending her a private message so that I remember her name. Otherwise, I'm like, I met that girl, what's her name? And you're looking through your friends list, you can't find them. So I'll send a private message, and I'll just say like, nice to meet you, happy shopping today. And that's it, not a word about Plexus. I don't want to pressure them. Just, happy shopping, hope you bought everything you saw, And then having them on my social media, now they are going to see what's on my Facebook page, even if they just go home and stalk me a little bit and scroll through my Facebook page, which means, as a teacher in me, I'm going to backwards plan that day. So if I have an event on Friday, then starting on Tuesday, I'm going to strategically plan my Facebook posts so that someone at that event who might friend me, or I friend them, and they go to my Facebook page, what do I want them seeing when they're scrolling through my Facebook page? I want them seeing about X Factor. I want them seeing about Slim. I want them to see my before and after picture, a few others. I want them to see about gut health. So I would strategically, and I say this because this is my next plan, something I've developed from doing a lot of events, that on the next event, this is how we're going to roll, so that they can, if they stalk me and they go to my Facebook page and scroll through to see who I am, these are the types of things I want them to see on that. So just really plugging into the social media aspect of things, and going from there. So I had a list of things to talk about, and I covered most of them, but I'm sure there are other questions or other things I've totally forgot to mention. Were there any specific questions anybody had about setup or
if you guys
anything like that?
Go down into the chat and type your questions, and then we'll ask them off to her. Could you kind of just break down like a fast little list for them, maybe if they're getting going? I know here we have a lot of outdoor events. So like I personally went to Tulsa. I had to go there away from here and get a tent. And my tent was like $40 for a pink tent at Academy is where I got it. And so just some things like that maybe a group of you guys could go together, things that you might need for your event.
Hang on, you're cutting out, Sarah.
Oh. Okay. So what I was saying is, could you maybe just, what your kind of list is, just a little fast list that you could go over with them, like empty bottles, you said to put little rocks in them. I've had to go fill them up with water before, or brown beans or something like that. So just a fast little list that maybe they could say, oh, I can do this. It's not like you're going to have to go out and spend a lot of money. A table. I mean, what kind of fast list would you?
I would say you need your contact supplies that you need. Your brochures and product brochures on each product are great if somebody's looking for a particular product. You need your business cards, product brochures, the whatever method you're going to use of getting their information or retrieving that. You need table covers. Again, they don't have to be expensive or fancy, but what are you going to use to cover the tables with? Consider if you're outside, if there's going to be wind, you might want to get some of those, glass beads or something to hold things down. You need products. So you need a sample of every single product. Empty bottles are best because sometimes they leave the table if they're not. And I would have for sure an ease cream and a body cream for them to try out. You need to have your, how are you going to serve pink drink? You need to have, what am I going to serve some samples of pink drink in? And you need to have some type of, I would recommend some type of table risers. Even if you have one little table, putting 2 risers on the end you can put stuff on it and then you're not just flat on a table. And some type of signage, and it can be very easy. It can be, your favorite Plexus picture. It could be your before and after picture, something to, when they're walking by, they're going to want to see something. I don't have one of those tall, expandable $300 signs yet. I want one, but I don't have one. I'm not going to get one yet. So that's fine. Some type of signage you're going to have. If you're outdoors, an easy up tent for sure. You can get them online. If you're not somewhere, you're going to get one. I have a big pink one too that I got that's works for everything. And that's pretty much my go-to list. Every raffle item, because you want to make sure that if you're raffling something off, you have a raffle item there. And another option that somebody that a friend of mine had in business said, what you do is you call everybody on your list. Maybe you're raffling off a 7-day supply, and you call everybody, you call your winner and say, congratulations, you won. And then you call everybody on your list and say, congratulations, you won 2nd place. And everybody wins 2nd place. And what is the second prize? You have to decide. That is a free pink drink and a private consultation to see, to talk about Plexus or whatever it might be. Just tell them they want a 2nd prize. And when they call you back, you can go from there. But that's, everybody kind of feels like they won something then. So I have a couple questions here. Oh, the question about whether, instead of selling at the booth, how about having a laptop and having them order? And that was my plan from the get-go. I've had no one ever do that before, because at an event, they're walking around, they're looking at stuff and taking the time to order. I have yet to have anybody do that. They seem to want to meet up later on. And I've met up with people later and gone to them and they've ordered. So if you can get someone, I never go to an event without my laptop on me. So that makes it handy in case somebody wants to. So we can't, you can't mix the stick. Oh, the place you can't mix it, pre-mix it. Yeah, I would, mixing it, the question said where we live, I can't pre-mix the slim because of the health department issues. So I mix a stick in a bottle right in front of them. Do you think this is distracting from the booth? Not at all. Not at all. I would have maybe a water bottle there with a pink drink mixed in it. Or you said you can't serve that. You could have it on display though if you weren't serving it. And I would just have the pink drink sticks and say, hey, here you go. This is how we do it. Shake it up in front of them and serve it all out. That's a great way to have it out on display. I don't think it's going to detract from the booth at all. And I always do have a large bag of slim on display, not a real bag. What I do is I take a brand new bag of pink drink. Well, you can just reseal it. But on the back, I like where it says the all natural way to lose weight at the top. So on the back, I just slice it with a knife and take all the pink drinks out. And then I stuff it full of like that basket filling or whatever you want to fill it with to make it puffy. And then tape the back closed. So it's a display pink drink I have, and it goes in all my display stuff so that if it happens to get lost or whatnot, it's not a full 30-day supply of pink drink. But people want to know, how does this come? How does it come? Well, it comes little sticks like this, and here's your 30-day supply. Those are good questions. Any others? But I really think that a huge benefit of a vendor booth is getting people and getting us Plexus people in front of other people and having them talk openly about Plexus. And it really breaks the ice in terms of your fear about talking to other people. And I would get as many people as you could on your team at a booth. In the beginning, I thought, well, gosh, how do you decide who gets the sales? How do you decide this? How do you split it up? When it comes down to it, if you wrote down whose name is on this, those are your contacts. You handle them later. But if I could get 8 of my team members at a 3-hour booth instead of 1 or 2, I think that's a huge win to expose everybody. Anybody else have any questions? Sarah's frozen on here. Her face is frozen.
Okay.
It's a very serious working face.
Okay. That's great tips. Yeah, and definitely, because I think it brings such excitement. They're like, wow, there's like a lot of people, and it lets them know that in our area, a lot of people say, well, there's tons of people doing that. That lets them see, you know what? There are tons of people, but they're working together and they're helping one another too. So, I think the idea about putting an item in there, one thing, we all eat, and what do people love to win things, even a gift card, for not much to say a restaurant. Then when they win it, hey, you can maybe meet them there to that restaurant and meet up with them for them to use that gift certificate and double duty that. So one of the things, you guys are going to be out at events, and say you don't have the means, you don't have the information yet, you don't have all the stuff for a booth, go to these shows. If there's a bridal fair, you don't have anybody getting married, just go, okay? Get your business cards. Like she said, go around to each of the vendors and the ones, give them a sample of the pink drink and share with them. I think that's the way that they use that show that's going on to your advantage. Definitely. This weekend we were at the rodeo, and one of the things I love is my Blitz cards. Have you guys have Blitz cards? They're bigger than a business card, and I take a popsicle. They look like a popsicle stick. I ordered them on Amazon. They're pink, and I staple them to them. And so we were at the rodeo this weekend, and I just, normally you're thinking, who's going to take my business card? It's like, what do I do? Well, it was dripping hot. Everybody's sweating. And so I just had this huge bundle, and I'm standing at the bottom of the stairs, and I'm fanning myself, and I just kind of held it up. I said, does anybody want one? They flocked me. I didn't have one left for my family that's sitting next to me. So think outside the box of some other things at your fairs, because I'm telling you, meetings and booth is what has grown our business. Definitely. So, Twyla is asking what kind of card. I purchased these from Charmingly Southern, and they're called Blitz cards. They're a lot bigger than a business card, and this information on the front here is my favorite thing, and I would have it on my business cards. I will never have a business card without this. And then the back, this one is my only one I had left. I was worn out. And it tells a little breakdown of each product. So they're called Blitz, BLITZ cards. So.
And now the Charmingly Southern, her website's plexusstuff.com.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've got to get on there. So I've got to order, because we have a huge rodeo coming up here that we do in our area. So, well, I am
Sarah, you said you put a popsicle stick on there on the bottom of it, so it's like a little. Is there like a fan? Because it would make a nice fan.
Yeah, they turn into fans. I just take it and I put 2 staples in it, and they're a little bit longer. Like they have pink popsicle sticks, and then some of them are a little bit larger. And yeah, I just like this one. I wore it. It was the only one I had. And I wore it till that stick came off. But it's a great thing because people are hot. So, somebody else have a question?
Well, I wanted to point out that in Facebook, there is a Plexus vendor booth or Plexus vendor fair Facebook group. So if you're going to do an event and you wanted some resources, you can add yourself to that group or request to be added. I don't know if it's Plexus vendor fair or vendor booths, but one of those. And you can add yourself to that group and get some ideas and such too.
Does anybody else have any questions? Who's going to have a vendor booth? Okay. You want to see, go on to Freedom or our Plexus family, type in, you're searching it out, and here's when it's going to be, because I think that is it. We think we want to, but we have to step from that want to we're doing, with the same way with everything in our business. Step out of that box and do it, because I promise you it will change your business. Thank thank you guys for tuning in. And I know next time I come on, I really feel these events are great. And so like she was talking about, just making connections. And Thursday night, we're actually, our Plexus team, for my team and Dan, we feel like we should give back to people. And so we are going to bless somebody in our community. And so I just asked on my team, you know, we've been blessed by Plexus and we want to bless someone else. And so we have people nominating, you know, people saying, here, these people need some help. And so we turned it over to our boys. They're 14 and 18 now, and they chose who was going to get to be blessed this month. And so we're actually doing it for a little boy who has cancer. And like she was talking about, it's not only about us. And so we have a whole bunch of other vendors coming in, and guess what? I think this is going to be one of the best, biggest Plexus meetings we've had, because it's pulling in all these other people. So we'll share with you how to do it, how to go about it, and I think it's going to be huge. But I just thank you so much, Melanie, and my Plexus Power Partner. If you don't have a Plexus Power Partner, get one. Reach out to your upline and say, hey, help me find one, because she's in California and I'm in Oklahoma, but it's awesome how we can help each other. So does anybody else have anything? No? All right, well, let's just pray real fast. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this time that you let us come together. And we just thank you for every single person on this team, every single person in Plexus, because, Father God, that we know that they have a heart to help people. We just pray that you will just open the doors and find the people that need this product. We know how many people need it, but we need the people who are open to accepting Plexus. And Lord, those people that won't accept it, that we will just bless them. And Father God, that we will just pray that they will come back and they will accept it. It may take them a little while, but we are not going to give up on them, just like you don't give up on us. And we just pray that you will watch over every single person on here and every one of our family members, and just keep us safe, and just bless, bless, bless every single one. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right. Well, you guys have